These displays of intolerance and homophobia are unacceptable.
This type of intolerant rhetoric starts in the home.
Parents angry at town hall over intolerance at Marshall Simons Middle School.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We got to take a look at a story out of Boston, Massachusetts, where apparently, some students were destroying decorations and protesting a pride event that was happening at their middle school. Now, just to provide a little extra context, the kids were asked to show support for the pride event by wearing rainbow colors to school. Now, what I want to know is, was it proposed as something elective? Like, hey, you can wear pride colors if you want to, but if you don't, it's no big deal. No worries. We don't care. We won't shame you for it or put you down for it. Or was it proposed as something that the kids really should do? Like, you guys really should come and show support for pride, we would love it if you guys show support for pride. Like, how was it proposed to the kids is what I would really want to know, because it's a big difference from letting them know that they can if they want to, but if it's not, it's no big deal. And then it's a difference between that and heavily encouraging it as something that they should do, and possibly shaming or putting the kids down for not wanting to or not showing interest in this whole pride thing. Now, before we start the video, there was just a video surfacing, what was that, a week ago or a few weeks ago, where kids were booing a pride presentation video that the teacher was showing in class. Let's take a look at that.
Wow, Miss Clark. Wow. Why are you showing this to kids?
Hey, I'll warn you guys now, if you're going to be inappropriate, I will have supervision down and give all of you a Saturday school for next year. So knock it off.
Okay.
All right, so you guys saw that. I really do think we are hitting a boiling point in this country where people are tired of this being pushed onto them. You're not going to win people over by force-feeding something to people. Let people gravitate towards it if that's what they want to do. But, I don't even understand why pride events are going on in middle schools. I mean, when I was growing up, I don't remember ever participating in any pride events, that wasn't really seen as, okay. I'm 27, just, food for thought, so that's over 10 years ago. I was in middle school, and, it wasn't no pride events. Nobody was asking kids to wear rainbow colors. I even had a lesbian science teacher. I had teachers that were, a part of this community. But I guess that just goes to show a lot has changed. But we're about to get into this, so don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we watching. Now let's roll it.
Of intolerance and homophobia are unacceptable.
This type of intolerant rhetoric starts in the home.
Parents angry at town hall over intolerance at Marshall Simons Middle School. Kids were asked to wear rainbow clothes in honor of Pride Spirit Day, but some organized a counter-protest wearing red, white, and blue or black. The principal sharing a statement to families that Pride posters were ripped down, stickers ripped up. Some students chanted "USA are my pronouns," and students showing pride were intimidated.
It was an unruly disruption, in fact, that was organized ahead of time.
While some parents were upset, others say it was overblown.
Some of the kids threw the stickers on the ground, but I can only speak for my daughter. She didn't want to wear that to school. It's not that she wanted to hurt anybody's feelings.
She says her daughter felt coerced to participate in the Pride event and was offended by some of the messages, like this quote from Tennessee Williams.
Human heart cannot be straight.
Okay, let me read this really quick. And see, this is what I was worried about. Was it elective, or was it any coercion going on from these adults towards the students? What is straight? A line can be straight or a street, but the human heart, oh no, it's curved like a road through mountains. Tennessee Williams. Now, I agree with the mom who just spoke on this one. It seems like her daughter just doesn't really rock with this. She doesn't identify within the rainbow, flag coalition. This isn't her. This it's just not her thing. But when you read something like this and you see in stuff like this, posters and flags and everything around the school, a quote like this almost makes you come to question your own heart and your own morals if you don't show outstanding support for this pride event and for this community, you know, like that just might not be you. It don't necessarily got to mean that you're homophobic or you're, you know, any type of bigot or anything like that, but that's just not how you rock. You know, you won't find me wearing no rainbow gear. It's Pride Month. I haven't wore a rainbow anything, but it's no hate in my heart towards these people. That's just it's not my thing. It's not how I do. Now, as far as the destruction of the property goes, you know, I agree with the mom here. You shouldn't be destroying anything. I suppose you shouldn't be destroying nothing. You know, it kind of is out of the kids' hands. I mean, they just go to the school. The teachers and the staff who put up all of this stuff and whose idea this is, you know, it's out of the kids' hands. But I'll bring up an example, and, you know, some people might not like this example or might not think it's a good example, but I'll bring it up anyways. When BLM that summer was going around and, you know, destroying actual towns and police precincts and fires and, you know, all type of craziness seen on video, when that was going on, you know, these same sorts of people who are all for the diversity, equity, and inclusion would have said and probably were saying that that's okay because they were rejecting something. They were rejecting white supremacy and oppression and you know, racism and all that other stuff. But, you know, some kids tear down some signs and, you know, reject this pride event, and it's a big deal. Yeah, like I said, I don't think the destruction of any property is cool, but I mean, you know, and I could believe that it may have happened because, you know, we all went to school once. I went to a type of school where kids were destroying property and doing graffiti and messing up stuff for no reason. They were messing up things for no occasion. So I could believe that that some of that may have happened. It might have been some students doing something like that. All in all, these kids are probably just tired of this stuff being pushed down their throat, and this is a response to it, especially if there was some sort of coercion going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. I could definitely understand why they would, you know, act out in a way like this. You know, when it's 4th of July or when it's Independence Day or Veterans Day or anything like that, does this school encourage students to wear, you know, American flag merchandise? Like I would hope that they also encourage stuff like that, you know, like unifying moments, unifying holidays in this country that could, you know, bring all of the kids together and, you know, be grateful for the country that they live in and for what they have and what this country has given them. But I digress. Let's continue.
It is curves and winds, and my daughter just kind of said, you know, Mom, that's offensive to me, who I am straight.
But even parents like her, opposed to the Pride Month celebration, say the ripping of posters was wrong.
I think destructing any property is wrong. I think, you know, I just think that was wrong.
Parents and community groups now calling for the town and school board to act and support diversity, equity, and inclusion. The incident sparking discussion at home on both sides.
My thing that I teach my kids is just be kind, and I wish the schools would just kind of pump the brakes on what they're shoving down these kids' throats.
The issue of
That's a W mom right there. Just pump the brakes. Pump the brakes on shoving it down kids' throats, because all you're gonna find is rejection. You know, I do think that there has been an increase of kids who identify within the Rainbow Coalition because of all of this pushing. So, you know, some of the agenda is working in some ways to strengthen the Rainbow Army. But, you know, when there's a strong push, and it definitely is a strong push, I don't care what nobody's saying. You know, it's people who tell me that they're tired of seeing this stuff in the media they watch. You know, it's kids being pushed towards this stuff, entertainment. It's everywhere. You can't look left or right without seeing it. And, you know, when it's being pushed that hard, it will meet rejection. And this is an example of this agenda meeting rejection. And it's, you know, gotten down to middle schools at this point. So that just shows you how culturally, you know, relevant and prevalent this stuff is.
These kids' throats.
the issue of pride in schools is very controversial. I understand that. I think we need to start at a place of commonality.
Commonality? What commonality? Is he talking about the pro-pride people and the non-pride people? Is that what he's talking about?
Now, the principal says that no one was forced to participate in the Pride Day event, but now parents on both sides want dialogue. Live in Burlington, Sean Shiabat, WCVB News Center 5.
Well, dialogue is good. Hopefully some good comes from that, but it's, it's going down in Boston at the middle school. So, yeah, we got one more clip that we're about to play, so let's get into that.
Our middle school, what is that? 10, 11, 12-year-olds had not one but two incidents recently of
Is she crying?
what I would consider hate crimes. Last Friday, I think it was, they decided to have like a pride. I don't remember if it was a pride parade or kids could wear pride colors or rainbow colors and pins of support and stickers and stuff. And so, as they should. And
As they should.
There were some middle schoolers, I will say that again, middle schoolers, that dressed in red, white, and blue. And from what I have read, were in the halls ripping down handmade pride signs and chanting things like, "My pronouns are you, S, and A," deliberately misgendering staff, and like I said, vandalizing pride signs. And if that isn't bad enough, on Monday, there was an incident of anti-Semitic and anti-gay graffiti in the middle school. Yet, my town, Burlington, Mass., the superintendent and the principal of the school said that they could see both sides. There is no second side. It's called understanding and compassion. And what the kids did that were chanting is abuse and rude and taught hate.
So I mean, I think that my pronouns are US and A. I think that's pretty funny. I mean, hey, call me what you want. There's people that might say I'm immature for that. I think that's funny. Now, just to go back to something she said earlier, she said that the kids were asked to show support for the Pride event by wearing pins and clothes and whatever, as they should. So this is somebody that thinks you should show support for the LGBTQ plus community. And if you don't, then you're hateful. You're not compassionate. Yo, like I said, it's been Pride Month the whole month. I haven't wore a single rainbow anything. I haven't shown any support. But that don't mean I'm not compassionate. You know what I mean? That doesn't, so it's almost as if there's a newfound morality, this worldly morality that's being pushed onto everyone, where if you don't support this, if you don't champion this, then, you don't have compassion. You're hateful. You were taught hate. And no, man, I just can't co-sign that. I can't get behind that. I think that's ridiculous. If just because you don't support this stuff, that doesn't mean that you're a hateful person. It doesn't mean that you don't have compassion. It's just not your cup of tea. Yep, now that I played this full video, I can see why she deleted her account. I'm sure she was getting roasted for this video. But yeah, I mean, this is telling, because this might just be one person and how they think, but a lot of people happen to think this way. There are so many people who think that if you don't support all of this, diversity, equity, and inclusion movement, and if you don't support the LGBTQ and the pride, and if you don't support this stuff, then you're not compassionate, you're a homophobe, you're a bigot, you're a xenophobe, you're a this phobe, that phobe. Like I said, there's this newfound morality where if you don't rock with all of this new wave stuff, if you don't rock with this stuff, then you're a bad person. But there are kids who don't want this stuff being pushed on them. There are parents who don't want this stuff being pushed onto their kids. And to be honest, like I said, I mean, you know, I don't think this stuff should even be occurring at the school. When I was in school, this pride stuff. I don't remember none of this stuff. You know, I went to school over 10 years ago. I know that was a while ago. I know things have changed, but I don't remember this stuff being okay to discuss in school. I had a gay teacher. I had a lesbian science teacher, and she never pushed this stuff on me. She never pushed this stuff on kids. It was her life. That was her sexuality. She never ever even spoke about it. You know, sometimes kids ask, you know, and you know, I went to a different type of school, you know, as black kids, as Mexicans, you know, we get a little unruly. But yeah, sometimes kids would ask, like, Miss James, you don't like men or whatever, you know, and she would handle these questions, and she would handle this stuff with so much grace, you know what I mean? And you know, she would handle it how an adult should. She would realize that these are kids, and you know, that there's no place to talk about sexuality and things like that at school. I mean, if you see what goes on at pride events, you know, it's not PG stuff going on at pride events. You got grown men, grown women being ratchet, taking off tops, flashing this, flashing that. You know, people on dog leashes, and man, I don't even want to get into all of that, but pride events in and of themselves aren't even like a kid-friendly thing. But however, you'll see kids there. It's so crazy. I think that's immoral, but I digress. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell on your way out the door. And until next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.